The beginning is always filled with life, it's always filled with happiness and joy immersed in every human that engage in relationship or marriage. Hello everyone, welcome back to another segment. In today's episode, let's dive into African lady who got married to a Chinese husband just recently. Presently, they are in Africa. Well, some would say, are they not going back to the Chinese environment? For sure, they will go back. But for the time being, everything needs to be processed, the visa and every other thing, documents needs to be documented and collect to be intact so that there will be no story as time goes on. You can find that in today's episode, African ladies preparing special delicacy. I said special delicacy for ever since, she's been with her husband. After wedding, it has been from one dimension of no love to another, from one dimension of togetherness to another. You find out that the both couples love themselves so well, and in fact, they're good to go. For some person, we think that, these couples are not fit. But I will tell you that they are perfectly fit, and marriage itself and even to love itself comes with patience. And most times we get involved into relationship with others that we don't know, and as time goes on, there are some certain things in which the person will start displaying. And what questions, the questions that we should ask ourselves when such thing occur, will I be able to consume, let me say consume, or should I say adapt to that person, change of lifestyle? Will I be able to see those, or receive that shocking with the person would deliver? Because every no human being is perfect under the planet Earth. Well, that is by the way. You can find the life and joy in African lady, the happiness to see her husband, and the happiness to even, find a good fellow. But her husband is such a different fellow, filled with happiness. Ever since the day of wedding to date, he has been smiling, filled with joy. And, he has assured us that he's going to take good care of our African lady. And that assurance, has given us a top notch for everyone to be so interested with this particular family. On the side of our African lady, she's well prepared and she's ready to learn. She was being taught Chinese meal for just a couple of time, or should I say a couple of weeks or days, and she catch up so well. She confidently showed us that she can do it. If you check in her recent video, she was preparing Chinese meal herself without the aid of her husband. So I was asking, today's not a question and answer, should I say episode, but I think in our subsequent edition we are going to come up with a question and answer where we clearly hear or some of the questions that are tripping here. Well, I think we should just use this medium to answer maybe just one or two questions for us before we proceed. Okay, the first question coming in: when are they returning back to the Chinese environment? When are they returning back to the Chinese environment? That was a question that tripping. Well, I think that going back right now would take a lot of patience, and they were doing projects over there, and we're just staying there doing projects, and believe instantly that the projects will be completed. And when doing a building house in Africa, you just don't start packing yourself, leaving it or project undone. Just pack and then leave it, then start sending money and all of that. So they have to plan themselves. Why? That is why they don't have much rush. And before then, we realized that we are being told that the boss, should I say the superintendent, went back to the Chinese state with his wife in preparation for the white wedding over there in the Chinese environment. So it's not just something that is instantly. It takes a lot of patience, and also the visa documentation, another important thing that is very, very important for them, to wait by to receive it. So that was the reason why you can see that they are a kind of delay, or the kind of more stay in Africa. For certain reasons, we think that it's opportunity for African lady to just come and then prepare herself and hope for the best in the future, in the nearest future, because the future is now. Yes, let's not just say the future is something that is coming decades, it's just now. So let's just hope as she's preparing her for departure to the Chinese environment, she's also doing some other things like trying to know her husband more, and the both of them communicating and more relaxed, knowing themselves more better. That is one of the most paramount key for them, not them going to the environment that is so important, but for them to understand themselves so that there will be no lapses during the process of marriage. Well, no marriage is perfect, that is it, that no marriage is perfect, but the ability to adhere to some certain should I say striking hits is matters a lot. So before such hits were caught, it's very important for both parties, to come together to level out those things which are your do's and your don'ts, so as the both of them can work together fluently. Check recently, we talk about the movement of African lady from one place to another, from one particular African domain or market to another. But I think that a report came here that she was getting prepared for pregnancy. Uh-huh. Well, after marriage, what else are you expecting? Do you expect the Chinese husband to start viewing her like picture every day? Well, some couples, made agreements, and it's kind of personal. Let me not just say personal, because we're involving two parties here. It's a kind of should I say couple's decision. Here is their decision, either to have a kid this year, next year, or in the next 3 years, or in the next 4 years. They both, we know what they're doing, and some persons, after marriage, it takes them like 3 years, 4 years for them to think of kids. Most times you see couples want to understand themselves, where they do a lot of working out, do a lot of going out, do a lot of things together, and do a lot of bonding together, and that's strengthening the relationship. Because when you have kids, you start they start having children, the strength to do that will be like kind of 5%. So just based on decision, based on couple's view or their decision. So some of them will just want to build like 12, want to have like 12 kids, much kids at home, to just be playing around and all of that. And most times, if you're not prepared, for children, I don't think you should go ahead and start producing. You have to be prepared mentally, emotionally, and strength wise. Yes, physically matters a lot. So I think the last time we checked, they said her African lady is preparing for pregnancy. That is a great news. So we are expecting her, and we are also hoping that it's true that she is going to be pregnant, or she'll be pregnant in the nearest month or before the leave to the Chinese environment. The visa procession to other country seems so long, or seems so hectic, and some, mostly in Africa, it's so tiring. Sometimes, yeah, because of some procedure in which it will pass through, and enacting and all of that, signing and all of that. I think that is why it's delaying them not to go back to the Chinese environment. Right, let's try to take the last question for today's episode. Yes, I think this is the last question. We are not taking more because we have more and more questions tripping in, but we are able to answer one. So let's deal with the other one. The other question that comes in, is it questions or comments? I think this is comment. She's commenting. Yes. She said, African lady, he's so matured to undo a Chinese husband. Well, what should we say? Okay, does it mean other African ladies, they're not matured?
that is a way maybe of living, that's a way of life and all of that. But I think the husband, he's very free, he's the type, you can know. There are some persons, they are so, secretive, while there are some person, they are just too open, so sure. A day or few seconds will not take you long to know who that person is when you have an encounter with that such human. Alright, this is where we're wrapping up today's episode, and I hope you're enlightened onto this package. Please do stay tuned and stay blessed, and always remember, lovelies, stay good for now. Bye for now.